So if a chicken's not going to eat a strawberry, what's up with the strawberry?
Welcome to TNT Homesteading. Join us as we spend our first full year here on our 10-acre off-grid homestead.
Hey all, welcome to TNT Homesteading. This is Terry. Saturday, actually supposed to be in the 80s today. I don't know if it's going to make it, but it's awfully warm. It's heavily cloud covered though, so we'll see what happens. In the garden, shocker, right? But I'm going to work on getting the fencing up. I'd like to get the chicken wire up at a minimum, preferably chicken wire and the bird netting, but we'll see how that goes. I have been working around a little bit, checking out the berry bushes and then working on the greenhouse. Let me show you that real quick before we get to work. You can see here how well this is doing. I need to trim that off, but I've got some really good growth on that one. Got some good growth on this one as well, and on that one. All 5 of the blackberry plants are doing so very well. On the elderberries, it's a little bit harder to see how they're doing. I did, this branch here specifically had a broken branch, and I did cut that, and you can still see the green. So it is still alive, it's just working on its roots, which is what we want. Same thing over here. It's looking okay. There's no signs of growth really. But I did trim one little branch, and it also had the green ring in it as well. So at the moment, I'm just crossing my finger and hoping for the best. It can take several weeks for bare roots to start showing anything. I did talk about on this little makeshift greenhouse how that bottom section I set up so we could lift it up. Well, I lifted it up and just used some clamps to hold it up this morning, mainly because I wanted to get that table in there. And I figured it was easier to slide it underneath here than to go through that door. I did bring my wife's tray of seedlings in here, and it's currently 81 degrees. So it's warmer in here. You can definitely tell. Yesterday it was a good 10 degrees warmer. So I did look at my seeds, and I almost started the morning off with some planting, but instead I decided to hold off. Some of the jalapenos I have, the seeds were hybrids, and I don't really want hybrids. I'd like to get into saving my seeds as much as possible. And so I'd rather not save the hybrid seeds. I've got a few tomato plants. I've got elderberry. I've got elderberry on the brain. I've got brandywines, and I've got Cherokee purples, both of which are tomatoes we love. But again, I'd like to save the seeds. So to make sure I'm saving those and not cross-pollinating, I'll have to figure that out, figure out what I'll do there. And I haven't figured that out yet. We'll probably still grow both. I'm just not sure yet. So I'm going to talk to my bride and see what she has to say. We did stop at the hardware store last night, and I got some pressure-treated lumber, 2x8s, 8 foot, and for the raised beds. I'm not quite ready for them. I want to get the fencing out. I want to get some more rocks out, some more tree stumps out, but I can't work on the beds if I don't have the lumber. I know some people hate pressure-treated lumber. They don't want to do raised beds with pressure-treated lumber. I think I see the pros and cons of doing it. I've always used pressure-treated lumber. We're obviously going to use pressure-treated lumber again this time. I get not using it. From what I've seen though, most pressure-treated lumber is done with a copper and of course pressure. That's why those lumbers were green actually. But I don't have in-ground beds yet to just grow in ground. hopefully that's something I'm going to be working on, is getting soil built up so we can do that. But not yet. We want grown food. We want to grow it ourselves. And our biggest thing we've seen is some of the food, even the fruits and vegetables that we get at the store, is not something we really want to eat. We got some strawberries the other day, and we both sat down to have some strawberries. We cut them open, and they tasted like gas, chemical nastiness. Neither one of us, I spit mine out. We tossed them, and the chickens wouldn't even eat them. So if a chicken's not going to eat a strawberry, what's up with the strawberry? They weren't bad. They looked gorgeous. They looked beautiful. Our theory is they've treated them with some sort of gas to keep them from rotting. And it was horrible on the flavor, on the taste. Let me show you this. Tomatoes, little cherry tomatoes in October. It is March 30th right now while I'm recording. And while it's starting to shrivel, if a tomato I ever grew, it wouldn't make it through the month from October to end of March, almost April, without rotting and turning into a puddle. We've not refrigerated these. These have been sitting in the cabin. Now the cooling is in there can be quite high. They can get to real low to real hot, depending on what we were doing with the wood stove. But these have just been sitting in the cabin. So this tomato, since I'm not going to eat it, at this point we've just been using it as an experiment. It's not even trying to sprout. This is not how tomatoes, this isn't natural. This isn't right. While our choice of raised beds may not be what you would choose, it's going to be better than that. Or strawberries that we won't even eat, and the chickens won't even eat. I would rather grow the food myself. You know, these beds will eventually deteriorate. I know that. Like I said, I've had some rot before. And I'm okay with that. I may just keep building up the soil on the outside, and then it'll just be all wonderful soil. We'll see how it goes. So, that being said, I need to try to keep the critters from getting to our garden. And so next up is to work on that fencing. I want to get the chicken wire up first, and then I'll worry about the bird netting. Have you ever opened a roll of chicken wire? So chicken wire, I've already opened this because I got super frustrated. It's wrapped around and around, all the way up and down several times with just a little light wire, probably the same gauge as this. All of this was wrapped around this. I couldn't even find the end. I had to cut it so I could find the end, and then I start unraveling. Well, it's unraveling from both directions. It was a mess, but I got it. So anyway, I've got that. I'm going to measure, cut, and start working on getting this put up here. My wife did come home this weekend with the other ladder, so I'll be able to have both ladders. And that'll hopefully help me get this up here. I was inside earlier getting a drink. It's 70% humidity out here. So at least explains why it feels so sticky and why it's so hot when it's not that hot temperature wise. There's no wind, so that's actually really good. Let me show you a close-up of this. So you can see I went across that top beam and connected it to it. And then down
and just stapled it on here. I'll probably put a few more with the air gun stapler. In fact, I may go get it and use it. I hadn't intended to use it at all, or the hand one at all, but I did. Down here at the bottom, you can see this. All that extra wire that I cut off that was used to wrap this thing up with, I plan on taking some of that and making some ties and just tying along the bottom. That is the current plan anyway. One side down, 3 to go. All right, so I had a phone call and I forgot to hit record. So let me show you what I've gotten done here and what the plan is. As you know, I got this section done and it's really good. Then this section I started. I do have it on that upright. I've got it on all the uprights. I've got it coming through here and all the way over to here. I need to do a better job of cutting so I don't have so much extra. I may go ahead and staple that to that wall and then start there. So I've got 2 walls done. I did notice as I was getting ready to start that I don't have one of my 2x4s up over here. I must have, I forgot about it, but the one that will go right up there to attach for this wall isn't there. So I have to get that put up there. That won't take too long. And then I'll finish this wall. And then I'll do the one around the door. And I'll probably just put it up and then cut the door opening. Almost have the walls done, or sides done, I guess. These aren't exactly walls. Just one left to do. All right, the chicken wire is up. Well, 99% up. So I do have it all up, except for that little section right there in the door. And while I don't think deer could come in that, raccoons or squirrels or other things could. So I got to think of what I'm going to do there. What I did on the door is I wrapped it around the pole and stapled it to the 2x4 on the outside. I rolled it across the top there and then used some of that metal. Hopefully you saw me, but I used some of the wire that came from that had wrapped up the chicken wire, and I wrapped it around that, and then I went down this side. I'm gonna take a hammer or something and try to hammer those in, since this is right by the door. Because I know me, I will catch myself on these some way, shape, or form. Well, before I decided to get onto the top, I decided to try to do something on the top of that gate. And my wife got some of these things, I don't know what they're called, but they go for chain link fences, I believe, to help with stability on long runs. And she'd actually suggested using them on this, so I thought I'd give it a shot. So I went ahead and put 2, one on each side. I did have to unwind it to get it to fit through here part of the way. I went up, well, that far. One on each side. I put the chicken wire through it and I weaved it through, and then I folded it over from the top down and then folded this side over. And while And while it's not perfect, it's not horrible. We'll see. That spot right there concerns me. Squirrels are notorious little critters. That might be too much space for them. We'll see. I went and found the bird netting. It was in the back of the pickup truck. It took me a minute to remember that. I've rolled it out longer than I need. And I made 2 passes. I rolled it out and I rolled it back. And then I cut on both ends. That'll give me plenty of room to hang over. It's 7 feet. The roll is 7 feet by 100 feet. And this is only 24 feet long. So I should have plenty of netting. But it's 7 feet. And this should be 12 feet across. So I should be good there. I can overlap in the middle and I can overlap on the sides, and then I can attach on the chicken wire on the top side. Well, that's what I expected it to look like. Actually looks really good. We'll see more once there's things in there. There's the door. There we go. Barely, yeah, with the clouds you can see the netting. Now that might have to change to chicken wire if squirrels decide to get up there and get in here from being up there. But hopefully that won't happen. Beds, I will be making raised beds in here. Some of these rocks I'm going to try to take out. Some of these stumps I'm going to take out, or at least get them more flush to the ground. I'm looking for, and I haven't seen any, so that's good, trees that are trying to sprout, because I don't want a tree growing up through the middle of my beds. I'll take care of all the grass. That won't be a problem. But not today. Today, it's putting up the tools. And I believe we're grilling over the campfire. I think my wife got some steaks, and she went to the little farmer's market, and probably have some spinach. And I don't know what else we'll be doing, but I think I'm about done for the night. Anyway, y'all, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.